Quincy Baird charged with larceny related to One Communications Guyana, Inc. Quincy Baird, a 37-year-old photographer from Plantation B, hers telling, East Bank Demerara, has been charged with larceny by clerk or servant in connection with an alleged theft from One Communications Guyana, Incorporated. The charge contravenes Section 184 of the Criminal Law, Offenses Act, Chapter 801. Baird appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Her Worship Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Monday, December 29, 2025. The charges were read to him, and he was not required to enter a plea. He was subsequently granted bail in the sum of $1 million Guyana dollars. The matter has been adjourned to Wednesday, February 11, 2026. As part of the bail conditions, Baird is required to lodge his passport with the court, refrain from any contact with employees of One Communications Guyana, Incorporated, and report to the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, headquarters every second Friday of the month. The investigation is ongoing, and authorities from the Guyana Police Force, GPF, will continue to monitor the case as it proceeds. Tragic accident claims life of Anns Grove woman on East Coast Demerara. HGP Nightly News reports, a tragic motor vehicle accident occurred Sunday night along the Greenfield Railway Embankment Road, resulting in the death of 32-year-old Thana Cambridge from Anns Grove. Cambridge, who was the driver and owner of the motor car PE 6337, lost control of her vehicle after swerving to avoid a herd of cows on the roadway. According to police reports, the vehicle was traveling west when the incident happened. In an attempt to avoid the cows, Cambridge lost control, leading the car to collide with a concrete light pole before plunging into a nearby trench. Both Cambridge and her lone passenger, 27-year-old teacher Marissa Semple, sustained injuries in the crash. Public-spirited citizens rushed them to the Enmore Regional Hospital in an unconscious state. Unfortunately, Thana Cambridge was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. Marissa Semple is currently being treated for serious injuries and remains under medical observation. The accident serves as a tragic reminder of the dangers present on the road, particularly in areas where livestock may cross. Authorities are investigating the circumstances of the crash further. Gold miner charged with murder following fatal altercation at Cuyuna River. Colin Anderson, also known as Strongy or Biggs, a 25-year-old gold miner from Anns Grove, East Coast Demerara, has been charged in connection with the murder of Michael John Benn. The incident occurred on Sunday, December 21, 2025, at Arangui Landing along the Cuyuna River. On Monday, Anderson appeared before Magistrate Tariq Mohammed at the Bartica Magistrates Court, where the charges were formally read to him. He was not required to enter a plea at this time. Anderson was subsequently remanded to prison, with the case adjourned until Thursday, February 12, 2026. The victim, Ben, who was also a gold miner from Charity on the Essequibo coast, was reportedly at a local liquor shop when he engaged in an altercation with two men. During this incident, Ben sustained multiple stab wounds to his chest, which proved fatal. Authorities are continuing their investigation as they gather more details surrounding the circumstances of the altercation and its aftermath. Police investigate death of 75-year-old man in Stanley Town. Authorities are investigating the death of 75-year-old Athlone Goring, who was found with suspected stab wounds at his home early Friday morning. Goring, who had recently arrived in Guyana, was discovered lying on the upper flat of his residence at approximately 5:40 hours. Emergency services were called, and he was transported to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival by attending medical staff. The body has since been moved to Ezekiel Funeral Home, where it awaits a post-mortem examination. Police have launched an investigation, questioning several individuals in connection with the case. 2 suspects, a 20-year-old man and a 22-year-old woman, have been arrested and remain in custody as inquiries continue. As part of the investigation, law enforcement is also reviewing closed-circuit television footage in the area to gather additional evidence. Police encourage anyone with information related to the incident to come forward as they work to unravel the circumstances surrounding Goring's death. Wanted bulletin issued for Kevin Fredericks. The Guyana police force has issued a wanted bulletin for 21-year-old Kevin Fredericks. His last known addresses include Onderneming Sand Pit on the Essequibo coast and Tushin on the east bank Essequibo. He is wanted in connection with serious offenses, including murder and a series of armed robberies. Fredericks is particularly sought after for his involvement in recent armed robberies that occurred on December 26 at the Quartzstone Back Dam and the 68 Back Dam, both located in the No. 4 Cuyuni Mining District of Region 7. Authorities are urging anyone with information regarding Kevin Fredericks' whereabouts, or those who may have seen him, to come forward immediately. Reports can be made confidentially to the Divisional Commander for Regional Police Division No. 7 at +592 680 6969, or to the Detective Divisional Officer at +592 625 1453. Reports can also be made at the nearest police station, where confidentiality will be strictly maintained. The police are appealing to the public to assist in ensuring that justice is served. Two men reported missing in separate incidents. Police seeking public's help. The Guyana police force is seeking the public's assistance in locating 2 men who have been reported missing in separate incidents. Kevin Persaud, 22 years old, has been reported missing after leaving his home to sell barbecue at Anna Regina on the Essequibo coast. According to police, Persaud is approximately 5 feet tall, brown in complexion, and was last seen wearing a green jersey, black pants, and white boots. He has not returned home since, and his current whereabouts remain unknown. In a separate report, Christopher Williams, 25 years old, of Mainstay Lake, Thomas Road, has also been reported missing. Williams is described as being 4 feet 7 inches in height, fair in complexion, slim built, and was last seen at his residence. Police stated that his clothing and whereabouts are currently unknown. The Guyana police force is urging anyone who may have seen either man or who has information that could assist in locating them to contact the nearest police station or call the following numbers: 637-5469, 227-4082, 227-0138, 225-1117, 225-1257, or 763-3193. Investigations are ongoing. Minister of Home Affairs announces revised vehicle tint regulations. The Ministry of Home Affairs, under the leadership of Minister Honorable Wanij Walrond, has unveiled revised vehicle tint regulations following extensive national consultations and public feedback. The previous allowance of 35% tint has been replaced by new provisions that now permit a maximum tint of 20% in specified areas of the vehicle. Key highlights of the revised guidelines include 20% tint permitted on the back windshield, 20% tint allowed on rear passenger windows, 25% tint allowed on the driver and front passenger seat windows, no tint allowed on the front windshield. A visor strip with a maximum width of 6 inches is permitted only at the top of the front windshield. No visor is allowed at the bottom. Motorists have been granted a grace period until December 31, 2025, to adjust their vehicle tint in compliance with these updated requirements. These changes are designed to enhance visibility and road safety, as well as improve enforcement efficiency, while taking into account the feedback gathered from public consultations. The ministry emphasizes the importance of adhering to these new regulations for the safety of all road users. Traffic chief calls for stricter enforcement against free-roaming animals after fatal accident. Traffic Chief Mahendra Singh has emphasized the urgent need for stricter enforcement against vehicle owners who allow their animals to roam freely on public roadways, following a fatal accident on the East Coast Demerara, ECD, on Sunday night. Singh highlighted that unattended animals often occupy main thoroughfares, posing serious hazards for drivers. These are hazards, and enforcement might be the only way to curb the practice of owners who leave these animals unattended, he stated during Monday's Jumpstart segment on HJ 94.1 FM. Referring to the recent tragedy, Singh noted that the accident could have been avoided. Reports indicate that the incident occurred in an undeclared roadway still under construction, where vehicular traffic should not be present. There ought not to be any vehicular traffic in or on that area, he revealed. Singh further explained that effective enforcement requires adequate resources, including safe vehicles for transporting animals taken into police custody. He stressed the importance of keeping impounded animals at designated locations and releasing them to their owners only after fines are paid. In appropriate cases, legal prosecution should follow to ensure accountability. This call for action comes in the wake of a fatal accident that claimed the life of 32-year-old Mathana Cambridge from Innsgrove. Police reported that Cambridge died around 9 p.m. after swerving to avoid a herd of cows along the Greenfield Railway embankment. She lost control of her vehicle, collided with a concrete light pole, and ultimately ended up in a nearby trench. A 27-year-old female teacher, also from Annsgrove, sustained minor injuries in the accident and is currently under observation. Authorities are taking these incidents seriously, with hopes that increased enforcement will prevent further tragedies on the roads. Body of 63-year-old man discovered in Ogle. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of a body found on Monday morning at a residence in Ogle. The grim discovery was made at approximately 6:35 a.m. The deceased has been identified as Tedram Ramchandar, also known as Pudding Man, aged 63, who resided at the location where the body was found. Reports indicate that he was discovered stuck on the fence of the property. Emergency services were called to the scene, and Ramchandar was transported to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where he was pronounced dead. Subsequently, his body was taken to Memorial Gardens Funeral Home, where it is awaiting a post-mortem examination. Authorities have launched an investigation to determine the circumstances leading to the death and are appealing for any information from the public that may assist in their inquiries. Police investigate alleged murder of gold miner in Waccapa. Police in Regional Division No. 2 are investigating the alleged murder of Nicholas Fredericks, a 25-year-old gold miner from Waccapa, following an incident that occurred around 2:30 a.m. on Monday, December 29, 2025. According to preliminary reports, Fredericks was attending an event in the community when an altercation broke out. Shortly thereafter, he was found lying on the ground with multiple stab wounds. Emergency services were called, and he was rushed to the Waccapa Health Center, where he was pronounced dead on arrival by the attending physician. The body has since been transported to the Suddy Public Hospital mortuary, where it awaits a post-mortem examination. Authorities have arrested an 18-year-old gold miner who is currently in custody and assisting with the ongoing investigation. Police have not yet determined the motive for the alleged murder and are appealing to the public for any information that may assist in the case. Investigations are set to continue as they uncover the circumstances surrounding Frederick's death. Taxi driver arrested with nearly 20 pounds of cannabis on Soesdijk-Linden Highway. A 31-year-old taxi driver was arrested on Monday after authorities discovered nearly 20 pounds of cannabis hidden in his vehicle at 1 Mile Turn on the Soesdijk-Linden Highway. According to a release from police headquarters, the vehicle was intercepted around 11:15 a.m. Officers found a salt bag containing several bulky parcels filled with leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis inside the vehicle. The driver, a resident of the Wisrock housing scheme in Linden, was taken into custody and escorted to the Palmyra police station along with the seized drugs. The suspected cannabis was weighed in his presence, totaling approximately 8.903 kilograms, or about 19.6 pounds. The cannabis has been lodged as evidence, and the suspect remains in custody as investigations continue into the matter. Authorities have not released the driver's name pending further inquiries. Minister Susan Rodriguez responds to allegations from criminal gang. Minister of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez, took to social media to address allegations made against her by a group she identified as the Mohammed Criminal Gang. In a Facebook post, Rodriguez reminded the public that the elections held on September 1, 2025, resulted in a decisive victory for President Irfan Ali, further solidifying his mandate from the people of Guyana. In her post, Rodriguez emphasized her personal wealth and success, stating that she comes from a background of affluence and does not seek validation through material possessions. She asserted that her properties were privately acquired and clarified that she has never applied for a house lot from the government or any related agency. Rodriguez refuted claims regarding ownership of specific buildings mentioned by the group, stating that one property was obtained in 2016, prior to her entry into government. She expressed her willingness to provide documentation to support her statements, insisting that her wealth is a result of legitimate business dealings. She further accused the group of engaging in criminal activities to amass their wealth, contrasting her business transparency with their alleged corruption. Your attempts to pull everyone into the cesspool with you will not prevent you from getting on that plane, she stated, indicating that the group is facing serious legal scrutiny. Rodriguez called into question the group's integrity, alleging connections to money laundering and criminal enterprises, including links to drug traffickers and terrorist organizations. She urged that these claims would not be deflected and asserted that those accused must answer for their actions. Her statements reflect a broader political narrative in Guyana, as the ruling party confronts ongoing allegations of corruption and criminal activity within the opposition. The post has sparked discussions on social media regarding the ongoing political tensions in the country and the accountability of public figures. The minister's comments are a pointed reminder of the contentious political climate as Guyana continues to navigate issues of governance and integrity in public life. Azruddin Mohammed accuses Minister Susan Rodriguez of hypocrisy and corruption. Azruddin Mohammed, leader of the WIN party, has publicly accused Minister of Housing and Water Susan Rodriguez of hypocrisy and corruption in a detailed Facebook post, reigniting tensions between the two figures. In his remarks, Mohammed claims that Rodriguez previously sought financial assistance from him, notably requesting money for gas and other expenses prior to the 2020 elections. Mohammed contrasted this with Rodriguez's current wealth and status, alleging that her recent claims of generational wealth are misleading. He expressed his disappointment that Rodriguez has failed to address lingering allegations against her, suggesting that her deflections are an attempt to avoid accountability. Accusing the ruling People's Progressive Party, PPP, of engaging in corrupt practices, Mohammed claimed the party is fearful of his growing support. He attributed recent media scrutiny and sanctions to political maneuvering by the PPP to undermine his credibility. He expressed skepticism regarding Rodriguez's explanations about her assets, asserting that undeclared properties and recent construction projects date back to her tenure as Minister of Housing. Mohammed emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability from government officials, urging Rodriguez to be truthful about her financial dealings. Additionally, he recounted an instance where Rodriguez expressed excitement over a luxury vehicle, a Lamborghini, reinforcing his allegation of her insincerity about material wealth. The ongoing exchange highlights the strained political landscape in Guyana, with rising scrutiny on the integrity of public officials amid claims of corruption. The situation remains dynamic, with both parties likely to continue their public exchanges in the media. Mr. Ronald J. Daniels critiques political silence amidst ongoing corruption debate. Mr. Ronald J. Daniels has taken to social media to voice his concerns regarding the ongoing spat between former political allies, questioning the lack of response from usual defenders of the status quo. In a thought-provoking Facebook post, Daniels highlighted that despite the public quarrels surrounding corruption, the fundamental issue of poverty among ordinary citizens remains unchanged. He stated, "The most significant thing that remains unchanged after the quarrels between rich people is the poverty of the poor people." According to Daniels, while politicians engage in disputes over their entrenched corruption, the real struggles of everyday people continue to be overlooked. Daniels further criticized the political elite, suggesting that once the dust settles, ministers will continue to develop luxurious lifestyles with funding from banks that impose strict regulations on those genuinely in need of housing or entrepreneurial support. He lamented the disparity in wealth and opportunity, stating, "When the dust settles, the ministers will continue to smile and flaunt their vehicles, which cost as much as 3 homes you are struggling to build." He emphasized that the children of these officials, benefiting from privileged education and industries, will remain atop their wealth while ordinary citizens grapple with poverty. "When the dust settles, we will still be led by men and women whose egos and sense of entitlement can scarcely be matched," he continued. Daniels concluded with a stark reminder for the public to recognize the lack of genuine care and consideration politicians have for the common person, urging citizens to critically evaluate the political landscape. His comments resonate with ongoing discussions about corruption, inequality, and the need for accountability among public officials in Guyana. GPL takes legal action against contractors for damage to electricity network. Guyana Power and Light Incorporated, GPL, has filed police reports against 2 contractors following separate incidents that resulted in significant damage to the electrical network and disrupted service for numerous customers. In the first incident, an excavator operated by Avinash Sahid from Mohammed Construction Services encountered the electrical magnetic field in Grove, leading to extensive damage and service interruptions. A report was lodged at the Little Diamond Police Outpost, resulting in Sahid's arrest. He has since been released on bail. In another incident, an excavator belonging to Singh & Sons Contracting Limited disturbed the soil around a utility pole in Newtown, South Ruimveldt, compromising the pole's structural integrity and causing further damage to the network. This incident also led to service interruptions for multiple customers, prompting GPL to file a report at the East La Penitence Police Station, where investigations are currently ongoing. GPL warned that unauthorized excavation and unsafe operations near electrical infrastructure pose serious risks to public safety and compromise the reliable supply of electricity. The utility reminded contractors and the public that permission and prior coordination with GPL are mandatory before undertaking any work near its network. The company stated its commitment to protecting its infrastructure and ensuring safe electricity supply for all customers. GPL also emphasized its intention to pursue legal action against anyone who damages its network, reinforcing the importance of adhering to safety protocols. Decomposing body found in barrel identified as Levi Williams. Police have identified the decomposing body discovered in a barrel at Le Repenter Cemetery on Christmas Day as 39-year-old Levi Williams, a vagrant. The identification was confirmed by his mother, according to Police Commander Simon McBean. William's body was found in an advanced state of decomposition inside a barrel located between Louisa Row and St. Stephen Street in the cemetery. Authorities reported that the remains have been taken to Memorial Gardens Funeral Home, and a post-mortem examination is pending to determine the cause of death. The circumstances surrounding William's death remain unclear. In light of this, detectives are reviewing security camera footage from the areas surrounding the cemetery to ascertain how his body came to be there and to identify any potential suspects. Investigations are ongoing, and police encourage anyone with information related to the case to come forward. VPAC to launch Housing Assistance Program in 2026. The Vigilant Political Action Committee, VPAC, is set to launch a housing assistance program in 2026, aimed at helping Guyanese families better understand and navigate the often complex housing application process. With billions allocated toward housing initiatives over the years, many families remain uncertain about how to access these resources. VPAC plans to address this gap by providing guidance to ensure eligible families can complete applications correctly, access support fairly, and secure housing with dignity. In recent years, many applicants have faced denied requests due to incomplete forms or missing requirements. If that is the case, then people deserve clear, practical help to get it right, VPAC representatives noted. They emphasized that no family should miss out on a genuine housing opportunity simply because the system is difficult to navigate. The forthcoming program will offer step-by-step assistance to applicants. VPAC aims to help families understand the system, determine their eligibility, and gather necessary documentation for their applications. Additionally, the program will clarify the mortgage pre-approval process, ensuring that applicants comprehend what it entails and why it is crucial for the fair assessment of their applications. A poignant case highlighting the need for such support involves a soldier stationed on Guyana's Venezuelan border. After losing his wife, he is now raising 4 children while sharing a single room with his mother. As the children grow, this living arrangement becomes increasingly unsafe and unsustainable. Families making such sacrifices deserve timely and compassionate support. Another example is Quincy, known as Shortman, who lived in a small security hut for nearly 2 years, sleeping on a bench due to a disability and limited access to assistance. His situation only improved once attention was drawn to his plight, demonstrating that guided support can lead to meaningful changes in people's lives. VPAC's Housing Assistance Program aims to ensure that access to housing support is equitable, regardless of one's connections or familiarity with bureaucratic processes. When individuals qualify for assistance and have their applications prepared correctly, they deserve a fair chance to move forward. The program will focus on fairness, dignity, and responsibility, empowering families with the tools they need to help themselves while restoring trust in the housing application process. Accessing housing support should be straightforward and humane, ensuring that no one has to suffer in silence when they already qualify for assistance. Minister Edgehill reaffirms commitment to Palmyra Deepwater Harbor Project. Minister of Public Works Juan Edgehill has reiterated the government's dedication to developing a deepwater harbor at Palmyra, Region 6, calling it a transformative initiative that promises to enhance the transportation of goods and drive economic growth. Edgehill clarified that the establishment of the deepwater port is not just a proposed idea, but a solid plan that is progressing toward implementation. It is at the Palmyra area that we are looking for the development of the deepwater harbor. It's not a thought. It is a plan. It's only a matter of time, and soon we will determine who will be the builder, the operator, and the terms and conditions, he stated. The proposed harbor is anticipated to significantly boost logistics and trade capacity by improving connections between inland production areas and international markets. The minister emphasized that the deepwater harbor at Palmyra would eliminate long-standing transportation challenges that exporters have faced. With a deepwater harbor at Palmyra, we will provide connectivity that is unprecedented, along with economic opportunities that are similarly unmatched, Edgehill declared. He elaborated that producers often struggle to move large volumes of goods to shipping points, but the new port would facilitate efficient transport to global markets. They can have hundreds of containers waiting to be shipped, and moving those containers to water is their greatest challenge. With connectivity to the deep water harbor, hundreds of containers can come to Guyana to be shipped with ease, he explained. The Palmyra Harbor project is also closely tied to broader infrastructure advancements. The minister noted the progress made along the Linden-Lethem corridor, where major groundwork is already underway to support increased trade and transport. Along the Linden-Lethem Trail, we've built out the bridges, and the third and fourth phases of the road are under active consideration, he added. Beyond enhancing trade and transportation, Edgehill emphasized that the harbor would stimulate economic activity in key routes and surrounding communities. The Palmyra Deepwater Harbor is positioned to become a critical driver of national development, bolstering Guyana's status as a regional logistics hub.